I decided to come back here because it is a 0% chance of rain today. But they're running the ride. I guess I'll go for a couple laps. But it's chilly and it's a little rainy. It's not terrible though. So on my route home, I could have just gone straight to Six Flags over Georgia, but ArieForce One exists. So obviously I had to stop here first to at least get a couple more rides. The 5 laps after a couple rounds, head on to Six Flags over Georgia. It's tempting to just keep riding this, but I ought to get back on Twisted Cyclone and Goliath, even though it's so frustrating I won't be able to get on Great American Scream Machine and Blue Hawk. Just got back on Georgia Scorcher. So much better than Pipeline. Just dramatically better than Pipeline. But honestly, not that much better than Vortex at Carowinds. I know this has been a lot of people's favorite old school B&M stand-up, but it is a little shaky. Green Lantern and Riddler's Revenge ride so much better, and they're more intense. They do a lot more. That is loud. Got a back row ride on Goliath. That's one of the better rides I've ever had on it, really. It was smooth, it had great airtime. I'd say that lifts it up to a middle of the pack B&M Hyper. Maybe not quite as good as Diamondback, but just a little behind it. Still not as good as Twisted Cyclone. It may be taller and faster than Twisted Cyclone, but Twisted Cyclone does so much more. Goliath is just up and down, and it's solid. It's got good forces. It's just not as smooth, and the airtime isn't quite as good as something like Mako or Candemonium, Nitro. Like I said, it's about on the level of Diamondback, I would say. I think Diamondback's airtime is just a little bit better. But today I got a couple great rides on Twisted Cyclone. Last ride I rode with a young man that I met over at Fun Spot, so that was cool. He was at Florida all week as well. Didn't run into him there. Don't think our paths would have crossed at any parks during the week, I'm not sure. But he was at ArieForce One earlier today. Talked to him during one of the rides, and then they were on their way over here. And then on the last ride, he happened to get in line right behind me, so rode in the back row together. He was able to find an open seat to ride again. That's cool, because this is his first time ever here. And this will be his 3rd lifetime ride, and who knows when he'll get to ride again. For me, I'm up to about 20 lifetime rides on it. And to me, that solidifies it. That ride solidifies it. This is for sure the best ride in the park. I was starting to wonder there with my high opinion of Mako and Goliath is pretty good. I was starting to wonder, you know, maybe Goliath is better than Twisted Cyclone. But after that ride, I'm like, no way, Twisted Cyclone's better. It's a short ride, but it is so good with what it does.
Let's sing him a song. See if he says hello.
Ending my visit with a cold, rainy evening here in Atlanta. So that'll be the end of this trip. 2 weeks, 16 days. It was a great trip, but it was kind of exhausting. I don't know if I'll do one this intense again. Started off in Texas, in San Antonio, and then East Tennessee, then Florida, then here to Atlanta. It was a lot of great parks, and it was a lot of fun, but boy, that was exhausting. I loved it though, but I might be getting too old to go that intense again. I need some days off in between at times. Maybe not. I say that, but then anytime I think I might be taking a day off or a half day off, I end up going the whole day anyway. It just isn't my style to take days off or to go slow. I got a few new coaster credits on the trip, but I missed out on several as well. The one that's in the resort there in Sevierville, and if I'm saying that right, I'm probably not. And also 4 missing coaster credits with the 2 Kid Flash coasters both being closed and maybe closed forever. Hopefully not. I hope they can get them back open again. That is so sad that both are down. Maybe I'll get those credits next year. A little disappointing that Six Flags Over Georgia is now closing the back section of the park for Holiday in the Park. They were not closing that section when I was here 3 years ago for Holiday in the Park. That was in December, and they did not have that back section closed. Now they do. So that's just one thing of note. If you are planning a visit here to get your coaster credits at this park, don't do it during Holiday in the Park unless you're okay with missing out on Great American Scream Machine, Blue Hawk, and Superman. Which Superman's a clone, but you really don't want to miss out on Blue Hawk and Great American Scream Machine because those are great rides. The 3rd and 4th best rides in the park. But to me, Twisted Cyclone is still clearly the star of this park. It might be a short ride, but it is so good. They got these walls up. I'm not sure what the plan is. I don't know what the renovation is that they're doing, but hopefully it'll look great once it's all done. It was a very weird entry process that they had us going through. I seem to remember it was weird last year too. I don't quite remember what. It just seems like every time I come here it's different. The paths that they make you take to go through security and then get into the park. It's weird, but you know, it's not a big deal though. Hopefully everything will look a lot better once it's all done. The new look will impress. So my last ride of the vacation was on an RMC, Twisted Cyclone, and that could end up being my last ride of 2023. I have ended 2 straight years with RMCs. My last ride of 2021 and my first ride of 2022 was on Iron Rattler, which oddly enough came about an hour apart since the park was open till midnight on New Year's. And then my last ride of 2022 and my first ride of 2023 were both on New Texas Giant, but on different days. That was not on the same day visit, since they were not open till midnight. So I don't know if I have another park visit coming up. We'll see if the weather cooperates, and maybe I go to Silver Dollar City at the end and get my last ride of the year on Outlaw Run. I probably should have just come straight here rather than going back to Fun Spot. I had plenty of time there last Saturday. I didn't need to do that. I should have come here, given more time to this. I didn't get on Daredevil Dive again. I didn't get on it last year because it was down for maintenance. It was down for the whole day. I didn't get on it here because the line was just too long. A short visit, I didn't want to give an hour to Daredevil Dive. But that's it from Six Flags Over Georgia and from this vacation.